Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020. The opening ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. We respectfully invite all distinguished guests and our media friends to take your seats as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Simultaneous interpretation is available today. Should you be in need of any assistance, feel free to ask our staff. And also, please turn off your mobile phones or switch them to silent mode. And as a reminder, please wear a mask and keep a safe distance during the opening ceremony. Thank you for your cooperation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020. The opening ceremony will begin soon. And to our media friends and our distinguished guests, please be seated as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Selamat siang. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our opening ceremony and leadership summit to Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020. I'm Gladys, your host today. As all you know, this year has been a very challenging year to all of us. And due to the COVID-19, people and enterprises are getting more used to online commercial events, and the exhibitions will become more common. So this year, Taiwan Expo has upgraded itself to 2.0 online version. And as you know, since the first launch in 2017, we've been to Jakarta, we've been to Surabaya. And this year, we're going to further extend the connection in between Taiwan and Indonesia. So today, we have here gathering together in Taipei, and also we have our friends from West Java today with us online. So in the very beginning, it's our pleasure to share a video with you to join our journey together. And let's take a look. Wow, so even though Taiwan Expo this year cannot be held offline in Indonesia, however, as I mentioned before, we already upgraded ourselves to 2.0 online event this year. We are going to enhance for promoting the most competitive and successful and advanced industries not only to Indonesia, but to all of the world. So via Taiwan Expo 2.0 online, we will embrace more opportunities for more successful for both sides in the future. So first of all, please allow me to introduce our distinguished guests today to all of you. So first of all, we're going to welcome the Chief Secretary of the Bureau of Foreign Trade in Ministry of Economic Affairs, Ms. Dai Wanrong, to be with us. Let's welcome Ms. Dai today. And then we're going to welcome the chairman of TAITRA, Mr. James Huang, to be with us. Let's give him a round of applause. And also, we have our online friends already with us. So now we're going to introduce you the governor of West Java, Mr. Ridwan Kamil. Let's say hi to the governor. And back to Taipei, we're going to welcome the Director of Tourism to the Office of Indonesian Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, Mr. Alia Garmin. And then we're going to introduce the Director of Investment Department to the Office of Indonesian Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, Mr. Ali Fauzi. And also we have our friends from the enterprises. Let's welcome the Chairman of Med Imagining Integrated Solution, Mr. Zheng Zhiming, to be with us. And again, we're going to introduce our friends online in Indonesia. We're going to welcome the President Director of Gobel International, Mr. Shuransha Sambuli Tai. Welcome. And then back to Taipei again. We're going to welcome the co-founder and CEO of Easy Table, Mr. Alex Chen, with us in Taipei. And also our online friend, and last but not least, we're going to welcome the Chairman of Indonesian ICT Business Association, Mr. Sujiharo Sandosan. And also we have our friends in Taipei. We're going to welcome Mr. Simon Wong, Executive Vice President of Taitra. And then we're going to welcome Mr. Felix Cho, Executive Director of Taitra. So now, first of all, it's my honor to invite Ms. Dai Wanrong, Ms. Dai, to be on stage. She's the Chief Secretary of Bureau of Foreign Trade of MOAT, to be on stage to have her remarks.
Chairman of Taitra, Mr. James Huang, Governor of West Java, Mr. Ridwan Kamil, Director of Indonesia Tourism and Transportation Department, Indonesia Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, Mr. Adila Kelman, and Director of the Investment Department, Indonesia Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, Mr. Ali Fauzi, Chairman of Imagine Integrate Solution Incorporation, Zheng Zhiming, Chairman of Easy Table, Alex Chen, distinguished guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon. I'm very pleased to attend this eventful opening of the online Taiwan Expo, Indonesia, on behalf of Bureau of Foreign Trade. Indonesia is ASEAN's largest economy. Many Indonesians work and study in Taiwan, and many Taiwanese businesses operate in Indonesia. Last year, the bilateral trade between Taiwan and Indonesia reached $76.1 billion. Many Taiwanese businesses are now moving or considering to move to Indonesia because of U.S.-China trade conflict. Currently, over 2,000 Taiwanese businesses operate in the Indonesia market for textile, auto parts, shoes, furniture, metal products, and tires, just to name a few. The Taiwan Expo in Indonesia is a vital cooperation platform. We have joined hands with Taitra in leading more than 550 Taiwanese traders and attracted more than 57,000 visitors to this event in the past 3 years. The outcomes include the Environmental Protection Bureau of Surabaya inviting Taiwan's air pollution monitoring company to participate in the air pollution standards and sign an MOU with a major Indonesia architecture group. Introducing Taiwanese pesticide spray UAV and satellite technologies to Indonesia, and an MOU for Indonesia medical staff to train in Taiwan, sharing of Taiwan's hospital management experience and creation of smart medical system. Although COVID-19 has fundamentally changed business interactions, it has also effectively helped turn physical marketing events into virtual ones. Examples of online events include small-scale on-the-go delegations that match industry needs with buyers, and online seminars on industry trends. The BOFT will continue to promote all-round cooperation through all possible means so as to leverage our industrial cooperation to drive investment and trade on the basis of reciprocal interest and win-win outcomes. Finally, I hope that you will fully enjoy the rich and diverse range of online activities at this expo. I'm confident of a very successful event, and I wish you all good health and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tsai. Thank you very much. And second, let's welcome Mr. Adali Garman, the Director of the Tourism to the Office of Indonesian Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, to go on stage to have his remarks. Let's welcome Mr. Garman.
Good afternoon, Tachahao.
How?
Your Excellencies, Ms. Amelia Dai, from Secretary General, Ministry of Economic Affairs. Your Excellency, Mr. James Huang, Chairman of TAITRA. Your Excellency, Mr. Ridwan Kamil, Governor of West Java, Indonesia. And Your Excellency, Mr. Felix Chu, Director of Marketing Development Department. Very good afternoon to all of you. First and foremost, on behalf of the representative of Indonesian Economic and Trade Office in Taipei, Mr. Budi Santoso, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020, Leadership Summit, and the organizing committee for having me today on this distinguished forum. Unfortunately, Representative Mr. Budi Santoso could not be with us today due to he has another schedule in our office. But he sent his regards to all of you and hope this forum will be held successfully. Since relationship with Taiwan, Indonesia has experienced a very dynamic and volatile part of history. All this achievement appeases a common belief that Indonesia is on its track toward a better future, a future that can only be realized through solidarity of hard work in order to achieve peace and prosperity. However, these achievements will not be realized without support from our friends. Therefore, allow us to take this opportunity on behalf of the people and the government of the Republic of Indonesia and on our own behalf to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to all Taiwanese friends and all colleagues whom we cannot mention one by one, for your unconditional love, attention, and support to Indonesia in all fields. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia government has accelerated its national development, but it in the form of physical infrastructure development or social infrastructure. Apart from infrastructural development, the ease of doing business is also a key factor to boost investment. The increase of direct investment will confidently enlarge job opportunities, expand real sectors, and in the end, enhance economic growth. Indonesia has strong commitment to improve Indonesia's ease of doing business rank by stipulating regulations that facilitate businessmen and investors to run their business, that accelerate their business, especially micro, small, and medium enterprise. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy that Taiwan has become one of the main contributors of tourists to Indonesia. This indicates that the increasing people-to-people connection through the new southbound policy, especially the relationship between Indonesia and Taiwan. We are sure that Taiwan and Indonesia government work hard on any program which successfully attract more visitors to explore the beauty of both places. And the great connections between Taiwan and Indonesia is now getting closer and closer. The bonding of two places is very strong, and this will economically and practically increase the benefits of areas. In order to promote development of bilateral tourism between Indonesia and Taiwan, we will focus on providing key services, supplemented by strengthening cultural exchange and provide integrated resources and services for the people of Taiwan and Indonesia. The service items currently under planning include, but are not limited to, halal certification application, Indonesian trip in Taiwan and Taiwanese trip to Indonesia consult products, services, co-organize various Indonesian culture and tourism promotion or activities, and long-term online column for Taiwan and Indonesia tourism. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is our sincere hope that the industry players in Taiwan can work together with your Indonesia partners. We would like to use these opportunities to urge all of us, our Indonesia's friends, to optimize our economic potentials through close and beneficial cooperation for our best interest. Among others, our economic growth and prosperity of our people. We warmly welcome all of you who are interested in importing Indonesia high-quality products and to invest your capital to Indonesia. The Indonesian government will be at your service. Thank you, and I wish you a very pleasant afternoon. 谢谢.
Thank you, Mr. Garman, and please remain on the stage. We're going to have the group photo together. So now it's my pleasure, and we're very delighted to invite the following guests to be on stage to have the online group photo together. So now let's welcome Ms. Dai Wanrong, the Chief Secretary of MOYA, to be on stage, and also the Chairman of TAITRA, Mr. James Huang, to be on stage. And also, of course, we have 3 friends online from Indonesia to join the group photo. And also in Taipei, we're going to welcome Mr. Ali Fauzi, the Director of the Investment Department to the Indonesian Economic and Trade Office to Taipei, to be on stage as well. And also Chairman Zheng Zhuming, and also Mr. Alex Chen, and also the Executive Vice President of TAITRA, Mr. Simon Wang, and Mr. Felix Cho, Executive Director of TAITRA. Together, the distinguished guests to be on stage to have the online group photo together. So our friends on live in Indonesia, 3 of you, the governor, and also our 2 representatives from the enterprises, please join us to have the online group photo together. Okay, so now we are ready. The governor is also ready as well. So please, everybody, look to the center. That's a big smile, and wave the hand to our friends in Indonesia together. Okay, so let's wave our hands to our friends in Indonesia. Okay, let's look to the back of the room. We have our video cameras there. Okay, and everybody please look to the center again. And here, one last photo shot together. Thank you very much, our media friends, and thank you, our guests. Please be seated. Thank you very much. So as we mentioned, this year has been a very challenging year. However, Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020 online is still very interesting, and a lot of pavilions and exhibitions and commercial events. So actually, we bring 4 famous Taiwan industries under 6 themes. So as you mentioned, as you can see, this year we still talk about the Taiwan healthcare, of course, and also we mentioned about smart city and industry 4.0 at our exhibition. And not to mention, we of course talk about Halal Taiwan, and you don't want to miss Taiwan lifestyle and also Taiwan tourism and culture. So actually this year we have the online event. We have 6 highlights, not to mention 11 pavilions, and over 130 exhibitors to join with us this year. And we have 278 buyers and 488 trade meetings. So actually this year has been a very fruitful year for Taiwan Expo in Indonesia 2020. And today, it's not only just about the opening ceremony. Today, we're going to have the leadership summit to join with us. So from today, 3 days, from 14 to 16 October, as long as you check the online website, taiwanexpo.online, you can check all the exhibitions, and all the buyers and traders will go online to have this show. So now it's my honor to welcome our distinguished speakers to join with us today to have the Leadership Summit. So now, first of all, please join me in welcoming the chairman of TAITRA, Mr. James Huang, to be on stage. We're going to have the summit together. And also, it's my honor to welcome Chairman Zheng Zhuming, the Imagine Integrate Solution from our enterprises. And also, we're going to welcome the Mr. Alex Chen, the co-founder and CEO of Easy Table, to join us here in Taipei. And then we're going to say hello to our friends in Indonesia. So now, first of all, let's welcome the governor of West Java, Mr. Ridwan Kamil. Let's give him a round of applause and wave your hand to say hi to our friends in Indonesia. Okay, and also we're going to welcome the President Director of Gobel International, Mr. Shalansha Sambuli Tayi. And also we're going to welcome the Chairman of Indonesian ICT Business Association, Mr. Sujiharo Sadoson. Okay, so today is the online and offline leadership summit. So first of all, just as a reminder, because we have this live stream, we're going on live. So the speakers, we can just look to the camera in the back of the room. So our friends in Indonesia may see your hospitality, and then we can have the leadership talk. Okay, so first of all, let's welcome Mr. James Huang again to give his welcome opening remarks to the floor. Welcome.
Well, the Honorable Governor Ridwan Kamil, Governor of West Java, distinguished guests from both Taiwan and Indonesia, good afternoon. And of course, to all our online friends, it's very nice to meet you all, either in Taipei or online. It is my pleasure to have discussion with so many experts and pioneers in the fields of digital transformation. We've been through a generation of enormous change because of COVID-19. The trend of digitalization brought by the pandemic is unstoppable. We must face the challenge and get used to this new normal. In the past, people can make a living simply doing office works, and businesses can strive merely because they know how to manufacture. However, it's not as the same old days. Now, office workers must adapt to digital changes and get used to remote working, and businesses must plan necessary digital strategies in order to cope with new challenges. It seems the digital transformation is no longer just an option, but a must. Today, we are going to share experiences and tips for digital transformation and encourage those who haven't started yet to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. Also today, the first day of Taiwan Expo 2020 in Indonesia online, we have over 130 exhibitors online for instant business meetings, and over 300 Indonesian companies already arranged to meet their suppliers. This year, the Expo showcases 6 highlights covering smart city and Industry 4.0, smart healthcare, digital commerce, Hala Taiwan, Taiwan lifestyle, and Taiwan culture and tourism. We look for further cooperation and interaction with Indonesian businesses and people on the way of progress and development. Thank you all for joining the webinar. I hope you all benefit from this event and find your perfect suppliers or find your ideal Taiwan's travel destinations from the Taiwan Expo 2020 in Indonesia online. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huang. And then we're going to welcome the Governor of West Java, Mr. Kawan Kamil, to have his warm remarks. You have the floor, Mr. Kamil.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Bandung, the capital of West Java. Honorable Ms. Wan Jung Day, Honorable Mr. James Wang, and also Honorable Mr. Adila Herman, Indonesian representative to Taipei, and all panelists in this Taiwan Expo 2020. From Indonesia, we have Pak Hiramsah and also Pak Sugiharto. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing a very tough and difficult time, but at the same time, we need to move on. We need to be productive. That's why we need to adjust and adapt to the new way of doing business and how we are doing our communications. The Taiwan Expo 2020 was supposed to be held in West Java this year, but due to COVID, we are having an agreement to move to next year, but to use this year to 2020, we are also agree to make it online. First of all, I love Taiwan. Yeah, I visit Taiwan last October. Yeah, in October 2019. So I was an architect before, so I visited Taipei not for the first time, but as a leader of government. Last year was my first time as a governor. So I brought a big group of delegations from Indonesia, and we were received very kindly by the team from Chinese International Economic Cooperation Association and many other institutions. So I'm happy to say, after my visit, the trade between business from Taiwan to West Java and also from West Java to Taiwan, I'm gladly report to you increase around 8.8%. So that's a good news among many bad news. Yeah. So we have good news. Second, also after my visit, we have many response from Taiwanese company on how to engage a business in West Java. So last July, 3 months ago. Melon Technology moved their operation from Suzhou in China to Subang in West Java, Indonesia. And we are happy also to hear the biggest investment from Taiwan will be coming from the petrochemical industry because they are agree for long-term investment in Indonesia, in Indramayu, West Java, a very ambitious project of 22 billion US dollar, with the first phase around 8 billion is already ongoing. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy also to say during the COVID, investment coming to West Java is still number 1 in Indonesia. We posted the highest for Indonesia coming from West Java. Also, Indonesian export during COVID to the world, also majority coming from West Java. To give you more confidence, I had a survey to many business owner and investor why they choose West Java as an investment destination. From many reasons, top 2 answer were number 1, because the infrastructures of West Java is considered the best, most ready, and also not too far from Jakarta. And also number 2 answer to that survey why you invest in West Java is because the West Java human capital is considered the most productive workforce in the whole Indonesian province. So again, to give you confidence, we have 50 million people, it's almost 20% of Indonesian population. You can use our 50 million people as your market to any business of Taiwan. You can use our growing middle class as your market of Taiwan products, or you can use our investment-friendly province to be your home base to export your product to the world. So we have two types of cooperations. Number 1, bringing your product to my people, and also invest your operation in West Java to export your product to the world. To conclude, we have also a big plan. We are creating the 3rd metropolitan area. This is the land that I want to give to Taiwan Incorporated. We are designing 10 new towns within this area called Rebana Metropolitan. We are building the biggest, the most sophisticated seaport, number 13 on screen, to be the biggest and most sophisticated seaport. Will be operated next month, the first phase by President inauguration. The land is still affordable. The labor cost is also in the lowest zone in terms of wages, sliced by toll road and also connection of the railway. So I'm hoping within 10 new towns within this Rebana Metropolitan, 1 new town will be dedicated to all Taiwanese company. So I'm offering you this also. Please follow the footstep of Melon Technology moving from China to West Java. Follow footstep of CPC investing billions of dollars to West Java. And as a leader, I will give you the most expensive things coming from the leader, which is political will. So I will be happy to serve you, to listen to you, and just ask me what needs to be done to make sure you're comfortable coming and doing business in Indonesia. So that's my short remarks for today's summit. We are looking forward to more fruitful discussion during the panel. And once again, see you in West Java, or I'll see you back in Taipei. 谢谢，hatur nuhun.
Thank you, Governor Kamil, and thank you for the wonderful remarks and full of opportunities in Indonesia. So actually, we have new challenges, and also it creates new opportunities. Of course, in the future, Indonesia and Taiwan, we are seeking for bilateral cooperations. So now we're going to have the summit, and the first question goes to TAITRA, the chairman, James Huang. So for the impact of COVID-19, so what do you see the Taiwan and Indonesia? How can the two countries enhance connection in economy and trade, to your opinion?
Well, the COVID-19 actually accelerates the digital transformation of the entire world, not just corporate world, but government agencies, schools, and so on and so forth. So in that regard, I do believe that this offers both challenges and opportunities to Taiwan and Indonesia in further strengthening our cooperation in the future digital world. And by saying that, I mean that because of the COVID-19, it actually changed the way we live, the way we work, the way we study, the way we do business. And new normals have emerged in almost practically every field. So businesses have to cope with the new normals and the new challenges. But on the other hand, the Southeast Asia, with Indonesia as the largest economy in ASEAN countries, poised to be the wonderland of future digital transformation, because with the total population of 650 million people living in Southeast Asia, and actually 260 million people in Indonesia, and the total number of users online exceeds 400 million. So there are actually 400 million digital residents actively in Southeast Asia. So this offers great opportunities for Taiwan and Indonesia to work with each other in strengthening our cooperation in ICT industries, in smart solutions, and in all kinds of formulas of digital transformation. And I guess everybody knows it, that Taiwan is the key player in global supply chain. And Taiwan is also the powerhouse of global ICT industries. So talking about digital transformation, Taiwan cannot be absent. And we will continue to play a very, very important role in businesses' digital transformation and in society's business transformation. And that's why we have the Industry 4.0 and smart solutions as the major themes of our Taiwan Exposition 2020 in Indonesia this year. So in that regard, I understand there are many, many very active startup companies, ICT companies in Indonesia, many successful startups, and many unicorns emerged in Indonesia. So I firmly believe that our two nations can work very closely with each other in the upcoming digital world.
Okay, Thank you, James Huang. So as you mentioned for the digital transformation, and of course, we already see the global supply chain reconstruction. So the question goes to the governor. How would you see the place, or how would you see the position for West Java in the global supply chain facing the post-pandemic, and also for the change for the position? What do you see the changes?
Thank you. I think from the current research, there are four type of economy that are still very strong. Number one is agriculture. Number two is healthcare. Number three is telecom. Number four is logistics. Yeah. So within these four, not affected by the disruption, we see the global change of doing business is very important, and therefore I'm happy to inform to Taiwan enterprise and companies that Indonesia is now building the biggest seaport in Indonesia, yeah, and also the most sophisticated seaport. And I'm happy to say the seaport is located in Subang, in the north of West Java. Before the development of this seaport, the cost of logistics from Indonesia to Taiwan is very expensive, yeah, because moving goods from factories to the Tanjung Priok is considered very costly, sometimes more expensive than bringing goods from Tanjung Priok Seaport in Jakarta to Singapore, Shanghai, or Taipei. So by developing the new seaport next to our new airports, that's our commitment to make sure the global supply chain will be easy and also will be much sophisticated. But post-COVID, we need to transform into more 4.0 operation as a must, not as an option. So I'm happy to report to you our transformation of the digital in business, and also the government is underway. We have won 3 awards in transforming digital, mostly for government reform, and one of them are about the economic reform through digital. And once again, I'm looking forward to have more company coming, following the footsteps of Melon and CPC coming to West Java, and I'm hoping also through this event, I can provide you one new town dedicated to all Taiwan company. If you wish to come to West Java, you can regulate internally your new town, thousands of hectares, yeah. So you can feel at home operating from West Java to the world. That would be more or less my response.
Thank you, Governor. That's a very generous offer, I think, and all the businessmen and also the industry should be very excited to hear the news. Although we say the old abnormal would change to the new normal stuff. So now we talk about working from home, the quarantine, or even the COVID-19 pandemic effects are already the topics that we're talking about every day. So actually the second question again goes to Chairman Huan. We would love to know, so how should international exhibition industry transform? Or actually we're going to ask is that how should companies integrate their current business with digital transformation to create higher value? What's your opinion?
Well, first, the international exhibition industries are severely hit by the pandemic.
Yes.
No question about that. All the actual exhibitions were almost stopped this year. And that's why we are online now for the Indonesian Taiwan Exposition 2020. However, given the impact of new technologies and the COVID-19 pandemic, I firmly believe that in the future, the exhibitions will take place in the form of integration of online and offline, actual and virtual exhibition. It's going to be a combination of both. And our challenge is how we are going to use both actual and virtual exhibitions to satisfy our customers and our business community in the next couple of years. And this is what we call one of the new normals. As far as Taiwan is concerned, this year we turn all our actual events into online and virtual events. And we are working with some very prominent Taiwanese startup companies like SR Space, like iStation, like the Taiwan Artificial Intelligence Lab, to try to build the model of future online-offline exhibition. And I believe this is the future. So perhaps next year we will see many new forms of exhibitions taking place online. And what you are going to see is not just a computer screen, but also you will be able to go into the virtual reality scenario to personally experience products and talk to your business partners in the virtual world. So for international exhibition, I believe that is the future. Now, for companies taking up the challenge of digital transformation, I think the companies will have to ask themselves very important questions. That is, what is their goal? And what is their goal of pursuing digital transformation? It's not just to introduce some new technologies or some new software programs, or just to hire consultant companies. So you have to understand your situation. The situation includes the mode of your current operation and your business goal in the future, and how you are going to get to your goal in the future from here, and what kind of technologies would be most suitable for you, and what kind of roadmap is best for your digital transformation strategy. And I think basically company would start with the optimization of their operation first. If you don't optimize your operation and you go digital directly, that's going to be a big mistake. So you have to first optimize your operation and your production first, and then digitize your SOP and production and operation, and then you will be able to enter digital transformation phase. That is to use digital means to create new business models for your business, and to create new values for your business. And that's the ultimate goal of digital transformation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Huang. And I bet for the Taiwan Expo this year, all the investors or the companies are truly seeking for more opportunities this year. So for the governor, as you mentioned earlier, 4 fundamental industries in West Java. So in your opinion, are Indonesian company under the pressure to undergo digital transformation right now? So if they do so, can you provide any examples for us? Thank you.
Yes. First of all, I forgot to say, on behalf of people of West Java, I would like to say thank you to Taiwan government and businesses. Last month, we received your donation to fight COVID in West Java. In total, around $250,000 US. That's the biggest donation from overseas coming to West Java. So sincerely, I would like to say thank you. Please applause. Taiwan people is always very kind to us, so thank you. Second of all, I would like to inform you there are 7 new opportunities post-COVID to West Java economy. I want to share the slides so you understand. Currently, we are moving towards this 7 new economy. Yeah. Number 1 is we were informed to be ready for making sure more coming to West Java for investment. Second, we are preparing the new blueprint for self-sufficient and self-dependency in all sectors, especially in food. Third opportunities, we were told to be ready post-COVID to be the center of excellence for healthcare industry. Number 4, we are moving 100% to automation in manufacturing system of our industry. Number 5, the one that you are asking, is we need to be ready for digital innovation in all aspects. Number 6, green business is also becoming a norm in West Java. For example, next month I will buy my electric vehicle as my governor's official car as a symbol that West Java is ready for more sustainable attitude in all forms of life. And number 7, we are focusing on our local and regional tourism. I observe my people is now making digital as a necessity, not an option. Yeah. In the future, it's becoming a mandatory, not an option. For example, there is a small village in West Java during COVID making triple profits. Why? Because they are having the agriculture as their product, but they are having their own digital supermarket. So it's very inspirative story. They are selling all the agriculture product using their online supermarket, and they told me they're having 3 times higher of profits. Yeah. So this is an example that digital transformation is not the domain only for urban or sophisticated human capital, but also in West Java, we are moving all the village economy, rural economy also to digital. So this is one option. Second option, in the fisheries, we can now witnessing the transformation using 4.0, using the Internet of Things to feed the fish. Yeah. Before is by hand, now just using mobile phone. The fishermen now can feed the fish using mobile phone technology. So there are 2 examples on how digital is now moving not only from urban, sophisticated, high-tech industry, but also moving towards to agriculture, rural, low-tech kind of situation. To conclude, as a governor, I witnessed also the use of digital for communications, yeah, for boomers, for all generation. So I think COVID clearly forced us also to move from 4.0 to 5.0, yeah, from industry 4.0 to society 5.0 like Japan, because now personal life, now personal communication, teaching, and everything in the personal basis must also adopt a digital concept and digital system. So I think this is the adaptation of my people that using digital and hoping industry, personal, individual, everybody now will embrace digital transformation as the new survival way of life, digital becoming the new adaptation of the new normal. So hopefully this is becoming the benefit for the next generation. So I think that's the story of West Java to your question. Thank you.
Thank you again, Governor Camille, to give us our valuable opinions and also the examples sharing. And actually, yes, we see the positive opportunities right now, that this is a very good examples. Right now, we have this online summit as the practice of this digital era. Okay, so due to the governor has the official duty later, so everybody, let's join me to give him a round of applause again, and maybe we can wave goodbye to Governor.
Thank you for having me, and see you in West Java. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Camille, and we look forward to see you next time. Thank you, Governor. Okay, so still we have our speakers from the enterprises to share their valuable experiences in either Indonesia or in the industry. So first of all, we will open the floor in Taipei here. We are going to ask Mr. Jen, Chairman Jen, for the very first topic. So for Mad Imagining Integrated Company, as your experience, can you briefly introduce us your service in Indonesia and your experience there for the investment or actually also the life there?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am the Zhumin Chen of the CEO of the Mad Imaging Integrating Solution, Inc. Okay, our company is providing the telemedicine, total solution of the telemedicine. Maybe for some of you, telemedicine is a new word, okay, after the COVID-19, the period. However, the telemedicine is a very important policy for some advanced countries like the United States and EU in the past decade. Okay, telemedicine consists of the telecommunication and medicine. And medicine includes the diagnosis, treatment, and the healthcare insurance. And telemedicine can support the doctor just need to stay in the hospital. But the doctor can stay in the hospital to see the patient online, remotely, and do the remote diagnosis and treatment for the patient in the countryside. Okay, so especially after COVID-19, because of the people distancing and quarantine, it's very difficult for the patient to see doctor. So we need the telemedicine to connect the doctor and the patient online, and the doctor can see the patient and treat the patient disease. So it is very helpful for the medical service efficiency. Also can reduce the healthcare insurance cost significantly. So here I would like to share with you one is a very good, very successful story between the Taiwan and the Indonesia. In the 2017, okay, so our company cooperating with the Helen Keller charity organization and one university, we deployed the telemedicine system, including the medical device, software, and AI algorithm. And we support the doctor we can make the remote screening for the people in the countryside in the Java Island in Indonesia. So we use the telemedicine to help the people in the Java Island, and we can doctor can take care the Java Island, the people, the eye, especially the retina disease, by the telemedicine. So up to today, it's still very successful. We still continue these programs up to today. So I think it's a very good example. Okay, so we can make this telemedicine system to connect the different doctor nurse, and the digital technology between the Indonesia and the Taiwan. Okay, so it's my experience sharing with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Jen. Thank you. And here next to me, we have Mr. Alex Chen, the Chairman and CEO from EasyTable. So he actually relocated the headquarters of EasyTable to Jakarta, and also your life, you also moved to Indonesia. So today is our honor to have Alex Chen to join with us to share your experience of the enterprises and also personal life.
Thank you. Bahasa saya tidak bagus, so I will speak in English. So my name is Alex. I founded EasyTable back in 2008 and started 2014. That was the first time I went to Jakarta. And that was not the first time I went to Indonesia, because most of the people, when they think that, oh, I visited Indonesia before, it's always Bali. And then 2014, that was the first time I was in Jakarta. So I was amazed, not just because of the traffic, but I also amazed about all the skylines, all the high buildings, tall buildings in Jakarta. So immediately I love the city and I love the styles. To be honest, the restaurants there, the bars, and all those live jazz, live bands places, those are like my favorite places in Southeast Asia. I always say that if you've been to Jakarta, you will feel like KL or Bangkok are not as fun as Jakarta. Jakarta has a lot of amazing lifestyle, food, dining, music, a lot of stuff. So I decided to think, because EasyTable is a consumer-oriented business. We know Taiwan is famous for a lot of like supply chain, but as a new generation entrepreneurs in Taiwan, we are more interested in doing consumer-oriented internet business. And with the 240 million population, we just cannot ignore it. So in 2017, 2018, I brought, at that time, about 10 people, including some engineers and product managers. We just decided that we should just relocate it ourselves into Jakarta. So we rented an office in Kuningan area, and then I basically rent an apartment just above Kuningan City Mall, and then started my Jakarta life. So in the past 2 years, we help basically issue digital membership cards for Jakarta restaurants. So like, for example, one of the most popular Chinese restaurants in whole Indonesia is called Ledakin, and Ledakin is our client. And then we're also working with several other lifestyle business, hair salons or healthcare providers, and we help them manage and issue digital membership cards. And due to COVID-19, to be honest, they're suffering. But I think one of our most important value is that a lot of business, especially retail business, when they temporarily close, when they reopen it, they will be afraid that where will be their customers. How can they call their customer back? And I think because of us, we store and we keep communicating to their members, to their customers for them. So after COVID-19, we immediately can help them distribute a lot of different promotions and different campaigns to their existing members. So call their members back in order to help them recover, and then in order to help them to get the business back as soon as possible. So that's basically what EasyTable is doing right now in Jakarta.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. And as we know, the GoBell is a well-known business in Indonesia. So now the question goes to Mr. Tai. So we're wondering, so did GoBell utilize digital tools to optimize the industry transform, or we say digital transformation after the pandemic? So we are curious about that. And also we would love to know, so the Indonesian customers prefer online channels, or actually they are preferring the offline channels, from your opinions, Mr. Tai?
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, Excellencies. ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity. Let's myself straightforward answer the question and maybe sharing a little bit our experience. I think that everybody already know that the Gobel Group is the local partner for Panasonic in Indonesia for more than 60 years, 60. So we start the partnership from 1960. And everybody know that Panasonic is one of the biggest electronics products in the world. So why that we are quite familiar with, of course, electronics, and now everybody talk about ITs, IoTs, big data, etc., etc. If we talk about the COVID pandemic, of course that we are in line with the World Health Organizations and Indonesian government's health protocols. We talk about the three things: the outbreaks response tools, the tracing or tracking tools, and symptoms tracking tools. We try to optimize all these things, yeah. And thanks God that our operation, especially our factory, because of we have many factory here in Indonesia for Panasonic's products and others, is not what do we call it, big affected by the COVID pandemic. We can maintain our staff in a very good conditions with these three things: how to let's say minimize the outbreaks damage, and then if there is something with our staff, we are tracing and tracking carefully and do some recovery program about this. But yes, we are not fully optimized about this, because of here in Indonesia, I think at the moment we are in the process of digital transformations, but we believe that in the next 5 years from now, we are in a very good progress to do the digital transformation, especially do some fully automized of our operations.
Thank you, Mr. Tayi. And today the summit, we have Mr. Santosa, the chairman of Indonesian ICT Business Association, to join with us for the summit. So from your imagination, we're wondering what's your picture, or what's the goal in Indonesia when the smart city application has already widely adopted in the city. So what's your opinion, Mr. Santosa?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Indonesia is the biggest archipelago with hundreds of cities, and we have some smart city standards have been deployed. We can see now citizens depend on technology a lot more than ever. They can see the traffic jam, all public facilities can be accessed now. Even some cities, they already open their smart city data as a public data. This will increase the quality of life, increase the official efficiency and effectiveness, including non-cash transaction, online order, and delivery services. Now we see government support the smart city strategies following global standard ISO 37120 and comply with government rules PP 23/2014, which focus on mandatory smart city services such as education, health, housing, security, geospatial, and social. So these 6 priorities will be focused on smart city with application in Indonesia. You can also access our information related to smart city development in Indonesia through our website www.smartcity.com. We put everything there. You can click and see our activity in smart city in Indonesia. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sandoso. So as we talk today, that digital transformation has become a necessary step for the world, and not just nowadays, but in the future. So the last question goes to Mr. Huang. Do you have any advice or suggestion to those enterprises who haven't entered the market yet, or actually they are coming to the expo to seek for more opportunities? Any advice to them?
Well, the first advice is that digital transformation is not as complicated and it's not that difficult as you might think. This is number one advice. Because for many owners of SMEs, when they think of anything digital or digital transformation, they tend to think that, oh, it's a very complicated issue, it's very technical, it's very high tech. I cannot afford to hire a team of IT people to run my digital project. And if I go to consultant companies like IBM, SPA, and so on and so forth, it's very, very expensive. Actually, it's not that complicated as you might think. First of all, the steps are fairly simple, as I said. You look at your own scenario, your own situation. Situation means how the way you operate and your customers' needs and the change of the entire business. And then actually, the next step would be digitalization, and you need to adopt some digital tools. Yes, you need to adopt some digital tools that are suitable for you. And of course, some experts can offer advice to you in terms of what kind of digital tools that might be best for you. And actually, there are many tools now available in the cloud. And you don't have to hire an IT team, and you don't have to build your own cloud. And there are many tools and many services available in the cloud. And you can acquire those services and tools by relatively cheap price. And then you set up your goal of digital transformation. That is, if your current business model cannot bring you more profit, if your current business model is losing customers, then how digital means can help you to identify new customers, to expand your market, and then set your goal and go for it. It's not that complicated, and it's not that difficult as you thought. That would be my advice.
Thank you, Mr. Huang. Just be brave and step forward to seek for more opportunities. So when we talk about Indonesia, the biggest and most potential market in ASEAN, we have to show our respect to different culture and different habits. So as we know, as the biggest Muslim market, there should be different ways in terms of different industrial business cooperation way. So now next session, we're going to ask Chairman Jen again. So from your experience of MedImagine, can you share with us in which fields of medical industry that Indonesia and Taiwan can have the further cooperation?
Okay, for the medical industry, this is my focusing market. I would suggest the two governments can help us to build up an ecosystem platform. How to say that? Because we know in Indonesia and Taiwan, the medical system and the healthcare insurance system both are managed by the government, but not the private company. So government have the resource, have the policy. So I would suggest the two governments should be the pioneer to help us to build up this ecosystem platform. In this ecosystem platform, we can invite the user and the provider together. The user like the doctor, the nurse, the people, and the hospital. And the provider like us, the medical device company and the medicine company or the medical service company or like a digital telecommunication communication company. So in this ecosystem platform, we can join together and we can joint develop the business technology or management system together. Okay, so in fact, Indonesia is a big country with a very wide land and many islands and high population. And Taiwan, we have many domain know-how, including the technology, industry, and healthcare system, or say the insurance system. So both countries, the people, we can cooperate together. Okay, we cooperate together and develop the new business model or the new technology in the very big Indonesia market together. Okay, so I suggest following the Taiwanese government's the southbound policy. Okay, this I think the Taiwanese government make a very good start by the southbound policy. We open the door and make the connection. I think I suggest the next step, we should make the more deeper and wider, and not only connection, and we should do more about for the penetration. Okay, penetration into the market to help the people the health. Okay, so I suggest two government can help us to make this ecosystem. Okay, and people can follow this policy ecosystem, join the ecosystem to make everything better and better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. And for Alex and Mr. Chen, we are curious of your business. Actually, as we mentioned, for the food or the eatery differences in between Taiwan and Indonesia society, can you share with us from your industrial knowledge, what's your experience of running the business there in Jakarta or as the whole country?
Internet requires a large scale, so I think people already know that there are many unicorns right now in Indonesia, internet companies such as Tokopedia, Bukalapak, Gojek. So running an internet company, we want a lot of consumers. So again, just only by Jakarta, technically speaking, it's a 30 million population city during Monday to Friday. During the weekend, maybe some people, they don't come to the city, but during the weekdays, that's a 30 million population city. And there are so many, like I just mentioned, there are so many good restaurants. So for us, just a big asset. And personally, after I went to Jakarta, I also had a chance to work and party with all the founders, co-founders of the internet companies I just mentioned about, and they're all very nice people. One thing I have to say is, just not because I'm here today, but generally speaking, I think Indonesian people are the nicest, most friendly people in Southeast Asia countries. They are always very happy and very welcome to share and welcome to host Indonesia to other expats. I'm being an expat, one of the expats there for the past 2 to 3 years. And for running a project, a company in Jakarta, I think one thing very important for Taiwanese companies, localization is a very important thing. I think Indonesian people, they have a different culture than Taiwanese people. So we have to respect, for example, you just mentioned about Muslims. In our office, intentionally, I have a meeting room, a vacant meeting room for whole day for my employees, so they can pray in our office. And I know this is very typical in Indonesia, but to be honest, as a foreigner who go there, open office, it's quite in the beginning, it's quite special that I have to rent a space in the office for our employees to pray. But definitely that's one good example. And second thing, we have to really rely on the local talents, and the local talents can really, we have to work closely with the local talents, and that the local talents help us to expand and to localize more for our company. And in the end, to conclude, I think recently, not only us, but a lot of like boba tea companies from Taiwan, like there are Cha Time, there are a lot of Koi, there are a lot of tapioca, boba milk tea, Taiwanese company go there, and I have to say, every one of them make a lot of money, and every shop is in a line. So Indonesian people love Taiwanese boba tea. So when we are seeing the so-called B2B supply chain company as probably one of the only consumer business representative here, I have to say, don't forget, Indonesia is a powerful domestic need consumer. If you look at their GDP, more than 50% domestic expense. So it's a powerful consumer business place with a lot of people love to spend. A lot of people love to spend their money and enjoy a good life. So if you are lifestyle-oriented businesses, I think Indonesia is the best destination in Southeast Asia for consumer-oriented business.
Thank you, Mr. Chen, for your opinions and experiences in Indonesia. So when talking about the domestic market, so now the question goes to Mr. Tai. From your experience in Global International, what would you see the biggest challenge for the Indonesian enterprises face when carrying digital transformation in terms of the domestic investment?
Okay, thank you. I think that I want to start with what that Mr. Chen already mentions. Please remember that Indonesia is the fourth largest country in the world, with some projections that in the next 5 years from now, the Indonesian economy will be the top 10 in the world. And Indonesia is one of the youngest country in terms of average age. Almost 45% of Indonesian people is age under 25. So this is good. Indonesia is number 6 in terms of smartphone user in the world. And in the next 5 years from now, hopefully will be number 4 or number 5 at least. So all these things, I think, is all the positive things of Indonesia that some of the data Mr. Chen already mentioned. So I think it's a very good decision and strategy for Mr. Chen to move their headquarters from Taipei to Jakarta. And I believe that maybe after this Taiwan Expo 2020, more Taiwan's company will move at least their biggest operation from Taiwan to Indonesia or Jakarta because of all this opportunity. Okay, let's start about back to the question about the challenge that my Indonesian enterprise will face carrying out of the digital transformation. For the Global Group, because of we already have a long-term partnership with Panasonic from 1960, I think that we are quite familiar with IT, IoT, everything. And we, if we talk about the Smart City project from almost 3 years ago, because of the Panasonic itself already start their Smart City project for almost maybe 10 years ago. So yes, that the government of Indonesia now in the process to do the transformation, digital transformation. We already start with what that we call it the Palaparing projects, west part, central part of Indonesia and east part of Indonesia. But some company of here in Indonesia, especially for global groups, I think we try to focus in two main area. Number one is partnerships, and number two is investment. Because of we are not in a good experience to do the digital transformation. I think Taiwan have a very good experience to do this digital transformation. So why that even for Gobel Group, even we already have 60 years partnership with Panasonic, but we still open the door to explore the possibility of partnerships. Bear in mind, the Gobel Group is not only doing partnership with Panasonic, but we are doing partnership with many other big Japanese company. For Smart City, for example, we do some partnership with Panasonic, the Panahome divisions and Sojitz, for examples. So if let's talk about the digitalization process, so why that to accelerate this process, to make this process is better, we have to do some partnership, yeah, and we have to do some what that we call it the digitalization process itself. We have to bring right partner to do this. So why that I think this Taiwan Expo 2020 Indonesia is a very good event to do this, because of I know that there is a lot of Taiwan's company. They are quite good in IT. They're quite good in IoT. Everybody know the Foxconn name, for example, here in Indonesia. This is a Taiwan's company. But Indonesia have a very good opportunity because of the size of Indonesia, the average age of Indonesian people, the smartphone penetrations. We have stable economic growth, almost 5%, even after the COVID pandemic. I think the World Bank already gives some projections for 2021 economic projection. Indonesia can achieve at least 4 to 5% economic growth. Maybe one of top 10 country in the world can recover quite fast from the COVID pandemic. And then this is, I think, that what can Taiwanese offer to assist? Please, we open our door. We want to explore all the possibility to do the partnerships. And as Mr. Chen already mentions, for the Taiwanese company, they really need a strong, trusted local partner. And we, with our 60 years experience and partnerships with Panasonic and the other Japanese company, we believe that we are quite familiar how to do partnerships with the right partners. And last but not least, I think I agree with you, Pak Sugarto, about the smart city projects. Yeah, Indonesia now is already start for some smart city projects. This is will be good because of, I already mentioned to you, the average age of Indonesian people is below 30. 45% of our population is below 25. So they love to do the smart city program projects. They love everything about the IT. They love everything about IoT. And because of the COVID pandemic, I still believe that there is some good things to do this. Yeah. So now is the right timing to invest, because of everything will be very reasonable at a very reasonable price. But when the economic growth is already there, so it will be more expensive, will be more difficult to do the investment. So my last quotes is, please go to Indonesia as soon as possible, find your right partner to do your investment, do it as soon as possible before everything is already too expensive. Like Mr. Chen already moved their headquarters from Taipei to Jakarta. Thank you. Xie.
Thank you, Mr. Tai, for your sharing and experiences. And also the next question goes to Mr. Sentosa. So we are going to ask deeper. So do you think any specific applications, technologies, or even companies that you think that you want to work with in terms of the smart city blueprints or industry developments, from your opinion, Mr. Sentosa?
Thank you. Smart city need artificial intelligence, and Taiwan is famous for developing AI from smart city application. I know many cities have implemented CCTV, adopting AI and IoT for face and vehicle recognition. But we also see opportunities in villages, and now we have implementation for smart agriculture to support local economic development. We have database of landlord. They open to collaboration related to the smart city, smart agriculture, and empowering local economy product development. This is a huge opportunity and will run successful if we can collaborate. And also, we have 2,000 members in 29 provinces from Aceh to Papua. So we are welcome to collaborate and partnership in ICT business, not only with me, but with our member from Aceh to Papua. This is a big market, and welcome the Taiwan companies to Indonesia and join with our member. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sendoso. So as we might know, since its first launch in 2017, Taiwan Expo Indonesia has been to its fourth year. So last question goes to Chairman Huang. In your opinion, so if we may say this, what do you expect for strengthening bilateral cooperation in between Indonesia and in Taiwan in terms of the pandemic changes?
First, certainly we are hoping that next year we will be able to go back to Indonesia for Taiwan Exposition in Indonesia 2021. And I'm sure many Taiwanese friends from the business community are equally anxious to go back to Indonesia. And second, when we are talking about a future digital era, it's not actually future, it's now and future. So I think every country will have to adopt new technologies such as artificial intelligence, digitalization, and smart manufacturing. And I understand that the government of Indonesia's Industry 4.0 policy focuses on 5 areas, which are food, beverage, textile, automobile, electronics, and chemicals. And in terms of those 5 areas, Taiwan does have the advantage of working with Indonesia. So we are hoping that we can forge more partnerships between Taiwan and Indonesia in those 5 areas. And second is the restructuring of global supply chain, which is a very hot issue now. Many companies are on the move because of US-China trade war and also because of the COVID-19 pandemic this year. So when we talk about, and of course, Taiwanese companies are key players in the current global supply chain. So when the global supply chain is undergoing the reconstruction phase, Indonesia is definitely a very important partner for Taiwanese companies to relocate their operations to Indonesia. And to that regard, I'm hoping that as soon as the international travel is permitted, and TAITRA would like to organize Taiwanese industry delegations to visit Indonesia for prospective and for ideal locations of their business relocation. So we are very hopeful that we can do a lot together when we join hands with our Indonesian friends to strengthen and further consolidate our bilateral economic trade and investment relations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huan, for your sharing and advice. And once again, thank you, Mr. Tai, and thank you again, Mr. Sendoso, for joining us and sharing your experience with us today. And of course, thank you, Mr. Zheng. Thank you, Mr. Chen, to be here as our panelists today. So we hopefully to see you next year in Indonesia for Taiwan Expo 2021. See you next year. See you next time. So, Sampai Jumpa tahun depan. Is it? See you next year. Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone. This has come to the end for today's Leadership Summit. Once again, thank you, our distinguished guests. And of course, thank you all our media friends. And next door, we have the actual room wall for a showcase this year, how Taiwan Expo 2020 Indonesia to actually work online. So welcome our all media friends to join for the team and our staff. You can go to next door to see how it actually works. Thank you again and hope you have a pleasant day.